Just ahead on CTV News, women business owners are looking for ways to overcome disparities in getting government health contracts.
We're looking at how do moms manage motherhood, building businesses, and being million-dollar companies.
Plus, it takes 50 years, but we have landed on the moon once again. And the University of Maryland hits it big with a 5-star player. All that and more up next.
Good evening. This is CTV News for February 23rd. I'm Byron Scott.
And I'm Patricia Vallone. Well, marriage, motherhood, and millions. What do they have in common? That was one of the many topics today during a women's multicultural conference on global health. Held at the National Harbor, the event focused on women entrepreneurs in the diaspora and how they still face formidable challenges despite owning 42% of U.S. businesses.
We're looking at how do moms manage motherhood, building businesses, and being million-dollar companies. And what does that look like? What is the wear and tear on their bodies, their mental, their health, and all of those things? How do they get themselves together to build the infrastructure to continue to keep their family intact, as well as keeping their business intact and taking care of themselves at the same time?
Women always put themselves last. They put themselves on the back burners. So this is an opportunity where you come together collectively and you see that there are partners out there where you can collaborate, you can connect, and you can do things to scale together.
And two Maryland businesses co-hosted today's conference, Health Lead Her and Black Door Society.
And police arrested a Langley Park man in connection with a major cocaine bust. 37-year-old Williams Quintanilla Beltran was picked up at his Langley Park home. Investigators say they found 66 pounds of cocaine, fentanyl, and $120,000 in cash in the home. Beltran is being held without bond and faces multiple charges. Any more information about the case is asked to call police 301-517-2900. And a Prince George's County police officer has been arrested in connection with an attempted murder in Charles County and a second-degree assault related to a domestic incident in St. Mary's County. The officer is identified as 42-year-old Corporal David Hardister. Police say he fired his weapon at a man shortly after 1 o'clock this morning in Charles County. The person was not injured. Police say both men knew each other. Investigators say Hardister was involved in a domestic dispute earlier in the evening in his home. The suspect faces numerous charges. He's been suspended, police say, without pay.
The Moore administration is backing a bill that would better protect the state's road workers. Lieutenant Governor Aruna Miller testified in front of the Senate Judicial Proceedings Committee yesterday. Miller is supporting the passing of the Maryland Road Worker Protection Act of 2024. The measure would increase work zone automated speed enforcement fines from $40 to $290.
Senate Bill 479 requires that the revenue collected through the work zone speed cameras be reinvested into highway and work zone safety initiatives. Finally, we're proposing an amendment that would expand the protections of work zone speed cameras to county and municipality maintained roadways and require that local governments to reinvest any revenue generated to only local public safety and roadway safety programs.
Under the measure, offenders with 3 or more citations could get hit with a $1,000 fine.
And a 65-year-old Capitol Heights man was sentenced yesterday for the shooting death of 2 employees at a senior living center. Roy Batson, who lived at the Gateway Village Senior Community in Capitol Heights, was given a life sentence. The incident happened on October 8th of 2021. Investigators say the murders involved a past dispute. Killed were Makeda Evans and Michelle Boateng, both are 46 years old.
And so that day and the days after, our office vowed to get justice for these 2 women, for their families who will be forever changed because of their deaths. And so we can't bring people back. It's just not something we can physically do, but what we can do is commit to getting justice. And that's what we did in this case.
Batson pleaded guilty to the murders last December.
A dispute continues to brew between the county and MGM National Harbor regarding its tax assessment value. According to the Washington Business Journal, a Maryland tax court ruled back in January that MGM's hotel and casinos assessment was more than $1 billion between 2019 through 2021. However, the entity that holds the lease of the property claims that the value of the property during that period was $687 million. Just this month, the county and MGM National Harbor have both filed separate petitions for a judicial review by the county circuit court. The Prince George's County Association of Realtors says home sales surged more than 20% last month. The group predicts there will be a steady and continued growth throughout the year as interest rates continue to fall towards 6%. Homes are spending an average of 33 days on the market, 5 days less than 2023. There are currently more than 700 home sales pending with an average listing price of $420,000.
And the Maryland General Assembly is working on legislation that would extend the property tax assessment deadline. Lawmakers are drafting a bill that will give the State Department of Assessments and Taxation the ability to create a new timeline to get the reassessment notices out. The department did not mail 107,000 updated notices by the January 30th deadline. Reports indicate that a mailing error resulted in the notices not going out. If a solution is not worked out, local governments could potentially lose about $250 million over the next 3 years. And you're watching CTV News.
Coming up, a local farmers market may temporarily close its doors.
We'll have that and more after the break. Stay tuned.
We are the nation's largest integrated healthcare system, providing life-changing care to over 9 million veterans.
Our hands are busy. Competent, skilled, healing, helping, and friendly. A place where diverse teams come together hand in hand to provide full patient-centered care. Working in state-of-the-art facilities with influential leaders in healthcare, all with a single goal in mind: to help veterans heal, recover, and get their lives back. In a place where everyone plays a part, and where your efforts are truly appreciated. A place so innovative and forward-thinking that we're rebuilding hands, and where even robots lend a hand.
Join hands with us. Learn more at vacareers.va.gov.
Our connections make powerful things happen, uniting individuals and communities. We are Rotary. We are people of action. With over 1 million members, we know what people can do when they come together. Around the world, generations of leaders build new friendships and solve problems, turning great ideas into reality. Take action with us. Find out more at rotary.org/action.
Hi, I'm the Big C. Hey, look at this beautiful couple. I knew as soon as I said that, I was like, don't say it. Don't assume. Did you know more than 2 people die from skin cancer every hour?
Oh, man.
It's a bummer, but the good news is skin cancer is a cancer you can see, so you can go get checked. You can check each other regularly, make it romantic. Turns out I'm a matchmaking mirror. You're welcome. Love might be in the air.
Welcome back. Maryland Attorney General Anthony Brown and a bipartisan group of 39 attorneys general are urging congressional action on pharmacy reform. In a letter to Congress, the group highlighted the need for more transparency from pharmacy benefit managers, the third-party company that is supposed to negotiate lower prices for prescriptions. The group is asking for Congress to pass legislation that would limit pharmacy benefit managers from increasing drug prices without justification, and that would require them to provide pricing data to regulators. And the Republican National Committee is encouraging its members to take advantage of mail and early voting. But according to Maryland Matters, the RNC is working across the country to make the practice more difficult in battleground states. On Tuesday, lawyers for the RNC were in federal court in Philadelphia in a bid to require Pennsylvania to throw out mail ballots with missing or incorrect dates. Other suits were filed in other states, including Arizona and Georgia, which are among the states where election results are expected to be tight. According to the Voting Rights Lab, 13 states have passed bills restricting mail-in voting since the start of 2023. Elections officials say Democrats are more likely to use mail-in ballots than Republicans.
Last week, a commercial mission bound for the moon was launched carrying scientific instruments for NASA. The cargo landed near the south pole of the moon about 6:30 last night, making this the first U.S. lunar landing in more than 50 years. Known as the Artemis program, governments worldwide are also part of the mission, helping pave the way for future exploration of the moon.
The South Pole is of interest to us because our indications is that there is ice or water there at that location. And with that, if you think about what it's required for us to sustain life here on Earth, that's a very fundamental element. And that will help us to have sustainable habitation, as well as potentially use that to use the hydrogen and the oxygen to make rocket fuel. So that's why this particular region is so important. Also, from a scientific standpoint, it's where we've not gone, and we can learn more about the moon, which actually tells us about the Earth.
And you can follow the lunar mission at nasa.gov.
And the owner of a Largo medical spa pleaded guilty to charges of conspiracy to distribute and dispense oxycodone. According to a statement from the U.S. Attorney for the District of Maryland, Joyce Edwards, owner of Personal Touch Medical Spa, operated the clinic as a pill mill. The statement says Edwards prescribed and dispensed controlled substances without a legitimate medical purpose and issued several oxycodone prescriptions to undercover officers. She faces a maximum of 20 years behind bars. The sentencing is scheduled for May. And an update to a story we brought you yesterday, the Maryland judiciary is now asking the state legislature for $2 million to maintain a private home detention monitoring program. That program was terminated last Friday after federal funding dried up. That means hundreds of indigent dependents released on home detention while awaiting trial are now at risk of reincarceration. Lawmakers are calling for emergency legislation to free up funding. About 650 people were in the program when it ended.
The employee who died earlier this month in a state government building has been identified. 36-year-old Janai White of Baltimore County was discovered February 9th in a stairway inside the Adam and Glazier building in Annapolis. The cause of death has yet to be released, and Maryland State Police say foul play is not suspected. Well, the College Park City Council considers temporarily closing the Hollywood Farmers Market. The market takes place on Saturdays from May through November and initially started as a community-led initiative more than 10 years ago. According to the Diamondbacks, city staff took over operation of the market 4 years ago. Since then, it has struggled to attract and retain vendors. College Park staff have recommended pausing the operations until the North College Park Community Center is constructed and Duval Field renovations are complete. And still to come on CTV News tonight.
A local police department is getting creative with talking about fostering healthy relationships and combating violence.
That story and much more when we come back.
Victor deployed for the first time to Afghanistan in 2003. At 4 in the morning, my phone rang. They said, "I regret to inform you that your husband was wounded in action." Victor sustained a moderate traumatic brain injury. I was doing school full-time, and I was also then caring for Victor. One of the most important elements of caregiving is taking care of yourself. I just didn't want to forget that I also had goals and that I also had a life. What I did is I challenged Victor to meet me halfway. He asked all his therapists to help him undertake some of the house chores. There are almost 6 million military and veteran caregivers across the nation. We have our own journey, and we can fulfill that journey at the same time that we are helping our loved one.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for a free military veterans guide to navigate your caregiving journey.
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. Remember the best planned 90 minutes of your life? Or that surprise party for your parents' golden anniversary? You get the golden planning. The same way you plan each detail for those moments, start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Sign up for local weather and emergency alerts. Prepare an emergency kit and make a family communications plan. Protecting your family is the best plan you can make.
We need to go meet the guys. I'm lit. Can you drive?
Pool party at Jesse's. Can you drive? Will you drive? I'm a little toasty.
Nope.
Nope.
Nope, I'm high. But I can order us a ride.
Okay. Friendly reminder, don't drive high. If you feel different, you drive different.
Welcome back. The Cottage City Police Department is hosting its first annual Violence and Prevention Teen Lock-In tonight. The event will feature panel discussions, arts, crafts, and yoga, and team-building activities. The chief is excited to provide a safe space to teach the youth Cottage City self-worth and healthy relationship practices.
It's okay to make mistakes. We are humans. I think the problem we do is we put too much pressure on our youth as well as ourselves that we can't make mistakes. And sometimes when you go into relationships and sometimes you feel like you're caught up, that's okay to talk to someone and say, hey, I need help to get out of those relationships. Let them know that we have people that have gone through what they have gone through, and we want to show them a roadmap, how to stay on the road, or if you get lost, how to get back on the road.
Now that event begins tonight at 6, and the kids will spend the night at the police station.
A 68-year-old Brandywine woman wins big with the Maryland Lottery after her teenage son decided to copy the numbers of someone else's Pick 5 ticket. After checking the winning numbers that day, she was shocked to see that she was the winner of the large prize, $50,000. The winning mom says she plans to pay off her bills and renovate her home.
$10,000, that's the amount of money the Laurel community has raised for Laurel Tavern Donuts. You may recall it was November 30th last year when a car crashed through the wall. The driver suffered minor injuries, but no one else was hurt. Nearly 200 people opened their wallets to help the shop reach its goal of $10,000. The owner says he expects the shop to reopen soon, but he did not give a date. And meet our pet of the week. Her name is Sunflower. She's a young, energetic American Bulldog mix looking for her forever home.
Today's pet of the week is Sunflower. Sunflower is a female American Bulldog mix. She has been here since late January, and she came in as a stray. We approximate her at 1 year of age. She is very friendly. She's really active, so if you're looking for like a jogging partner, but I could also see her like spending time in the living room, just laid out on the couch. So I think she would be perfect in any home.
And if you want to adopt Sunflower or any of her furry friends, you can call Animal Management at 301-780-7200. And now here is Simon Buggs with a preview of the Friday Sports page.
Hey everybody, and coming up on your Friday Sports page, a highly ranked basketball prospect stays local for his college career. Don't go anywhere.
Do you want to go grab some frozen yogurt tonight?
Maybe another time. Thanks, though.
Hey, Charles, how do you like your burger?
Ooh, well done, I hope. I love this tree. Hey, honey. We thought we'd try something new.
Family art hour.
Come on, sit down.
Okay, guys, what do you think? That is you.
Oh, you got jokes. You're funny.
That is you, and that is your son, and your other son. Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org.
For over 100 years, Rotary members have taken action when challenges arise. We know what people can do when they come together and put others before themselves.
The team lead said they will continue the campaign to fight against the coronavirus.
Local Rotary clubs deliver food and supplies to people in need.
Strangers become friends, helping hands multiply, and problems turn into solutions. We are Rotary. We are people of action. Learn more at rotary.org/action.
Ready, sports fans, because it's time for your Friday sports page. We begin with some high school basketball news. The University of Maryland just landed their third five-star recruit in the program's history, as center and Baltimore native Derek Queen has committed to playing for the Terps this fall. Queen currently plays at basketball powerhouse Montverde Academy in Florida and is ranked as a number 10 player in ESPN 100 for the 2024 class and is ranked as a number 2 player at his position. For the Eagles this season, Queen is averaging 17 points and 8 boards. Queen also had offers from Kansas, Indiana, Arizona, and Houston. Switching gears to college football, the UMD football team will begin gearing up for next season as their spring practices start on March 26th. The Terps will hold 15 practices leading up to their annual red versus white spring game on April 27th at Sekou Stadium. The Terps are coming off of a season where they finished with 8 wins for the second year in a row. Kickoff is at noon. And sticking with college sports news, there will be some playoff action this weekend as the PGCC men's basketball team will take the court versus Pennsylvania Highlands Community College in the Region 20 D3 semifinals. Tip-off is tomorrow at noon. Now moving on to the world of softball, the Bowie State softball team will also be in action this weekend. The Lady Bulldogs will travel to Delaware State to take on the Hornets on Sunday at noon. And finally, the Orioles will suit up for their first game of spring training tomorrow. The Birds will take on the Boston Red Sox tomorrow at 1:05. And that is your Friday sports page. Simon Buggs, CTV Sports.
Thanks, Simon. And now let's get a quick check on our weekend weather forecast. Tonight, mostly cloudy skies with a low of 38. The clouds are sticking around for your Saturday. Temps will reach 47 during the day and drop to a chilly 25 at night.
And it will be sunny on Sunday with a high of 47 and a low of 36. It'll be sunny and warm to start the work week, with temps reaching a mild 65 and falling to 45 at night.
And now for your community calendar, the Maryland Public Service Commission will hold a public comment hearing on PEPCO's proposed 3-year rate increase. Customers and others interested can take part on Tuesday, March 5th at 6:30 p.m.
The hearing will take place at Prince George's Community College in the Kent Hall Administration Building. There will be a virtual option for those who can't attend in person. To take part virtually, send the email to the address on your screen by noon on Friday, March 1st.
And that wraps up our CTV News Update. I'm Patricia Vallone.
And I'm Byron Scott. Join us again on Monday for news that matters to you. Have a great weekend. Good night.
Heather and I had an argument just like any other couple. I was lost and lonely. I had snapped, I had a gun, and I was going to take my own life. Heather helped me realize that there was still life to live. For the better of myself, my family, my weapon is now safely put away.
My son, Ricky, took his life by the use of a firearm. It broke me in ways that I never knew that I could be broken. And I contemplated suicide. Afterwards, we found out his girlfriend, she was pregnant. If that was my grandson, I was gonna have to be here for him. I still own my firearm. I keep it in a safe because I want to keep my grandson and myself safe.
A moment of crisis can happen to anyone.
Store your gun securely, locked, unloaded, and away from ammo.